throws. He lays out and makes the catch.
What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the Double Switch podcast. Johnny's getting nervous because fantasy baseball is right around the corner and he's not prepared. He's not prepared for another season. So I figured we could come back today and I could kind of let him know who he shouldn't draft. We'll have a little fantasy bust episode here, and we all came up with our names, and hopefully we can help Johnny out on his quest to be successful at fantasy baseball. Johnny, what's going on, man? How are you doing today?
I don't want to entertain your bullshit, but I guess I am. I'm glad you're educating me for this episode, and I'm ready this year. I think you would like to take note of what I have to say today so that you don't have a huge collapse season, because you're expected to be at the top, Josh. You might get pulled down this year.
I mean, there's a little room for me to go up, but I mean, there's just so much room for me to go down. So I got to really keep the status quo here. But I mean, if you're ready, we can get right into it.
Yeah. All right. Today we're doing our players to avoid. One player for each position. And I believe Josh will start us with catcher.
Catcher. All right. I got tabs open, so I'm going to go back and forth. Let me know if anything happens. All right. I'm on another tab, so I guess it worked.
All right, cool.
MJ Melendez, catcher, kind of catcher for the Royals. He's not really the catcher because Salvi's the catcher, so he's a unique player. He can play outfield, and I think the kid's good. He's young and he's very unproven, but he did have some kind of prospect pedigree. The problem with him starts with that average draft position, 124, and if you're hearing that, you might not be thinking that seems pretty affordable, but he's ahead of Kirk of the Blue Jays, who I think is really good. I think Kirk is probably maybe the best hitter at the position. Salvi, who he had a down year, but he still hit 48 home runs a couple years ago. I like the value for Salvi there too. Murphy, who was on my list last year, both Contreras brothers. This is a guy who's getting dragged up because people are expecting him to make that leap forward. And I know that to win fantasy baseball, you do have to be aggressive with that stuff. But I mean, is it really worth the cost here? Because what's the best case scenario for MJ Melendez? Is it what Kirk did last year? And if that's what you're expecting, why don't you just take Kirk? Better lineup, gonna have more RBIs, gonna help you in batting average. I mean, Melendez batted 217 last year, and it doesn't really matter what type of league you're in. But if you're in a league that batting average matters, it's going to be tough to cancel that out. And he also can't hit righties. 193 average against righties might get better, but why risk it when you can just grab one of those experienced vets behind him who are going to give you what you're hoping to get out of him anyway, right?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, what you said, 141 was his average draft rank?
124.
That is a little bit generous, but I see where everyone's coming from. I mean, you look at what he could become with his kind of balanced skill set. He's got speed, he steals bags, could be a real good gap hitter. I think people kind of see him being a real Muto type of athlete at the position. And I think another thing is I think he is available as an outfielder and a DH, if I'm not mistaken.
He is available as an outfielder. I did consider that, but if you're drafting if you're drafting him as an outfielder, I don't know how good I'd really feel about that either. Hopefully, you probably be drafting him at catcher because catcher's a little weaker. But I mean, if you got your first catcher off the board, if you got a top tier catcher and you're looking for, I don't even know, versatility, he's a great option. And I mean, if he falls, I wouldn't have any problem taking him, but I don't think he's likely to fall. I think he's likely to probably rise. And I'm not sure how much I'm willing to go there with him.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you now. I think he shouldn't be your first catcher taken off the board. If you have the luxury to get him late as a second catcher and that has that nice outfield slot, then I'd go for it late. but I would go with one of the top guys because catcher's thin. Catcher's real thin.
Catcher's weird. I always end up going late with catcher, and it always works out. So I'm against the higher draft picks, but I do get it. On to first.
Yeah, first I think it's gonna be a little bit of shocker. Jose Abreu. A lot of people are thinking draft him higher because he's in such a great situation there in Houston, where he'll probably get a lot of meatballs. But the way I look at it, Father Time's catching up to the old man. His OPS has been steadily declining over the past 3 seasons. He's just not going to – I don't think he's going to remain the power guy in Houston. And without power, I don't like Jose Abreu.
I think I'm going to disagree with you on this one.
I'll listen to you.
I have Jose Abreu circled on my draft board for a couple of reasons.
Circled.
I think I'm going to have a lot of Jose Abreu because I'm not going to go for any of the high-end first basemen just because when I'll be drafting those first basemen, I'm going to be looking towards one of the weaker positions, outfield. Outfield's probably going to be my top priority. Third base, second base, all of that's more important to me than first base. I will not have Vladdy on my team. I will not have Freddie Freeman on my team unless, he falls into my lap. But I like Jose Abreu for the floor. I think he has an extremely high floor because he is aging, but his bat to ball skills are still pretty elite. I think there's probably a 280 and 25 homer outcome for him this year. And I think that the RBIs are going to be in abundance for him, especially in that lineup. It's a better position than he was in last year. I think that, he is being hyped up a little bit because people aren't blind. They can see that. They can see that, he's on the Astros right now. And people love to inflate, the transition to the Astros. And I get it because the Astros do wonders with their players. But he's in a very good spot. And I think that if you average out all of his possibilities, you're looking at a floor here that's 280, 15 home runs. And it's a very high floor for a position that's very deep. I wouldn't mind pairing him with someone in the later rounds who has a ton of upside,
Yeah.
And he's going in the range where I'll probably be looking for a first baseman, maybe a little early. I like that little range below him, highlighted by Rhys Hoskins mainly. I think there's a lot of value down there, and when you get near 10th round, 8th through 10th round, but I would be okay with him on my team, and I think that there's very, very little chance that the season goes way off the rails for him. I think he's very safe.
Yeah, teach his own. You make good points. He will definitely be a safe pick. He won't be a total train wreck. But I don't see him having like a standout year.
He's going from what I saw, he's going below Olsen, which he should be going below Olsen, but he's going right around Pasquantino, which is very interesting because they're such different players in that Abreu's been doing it forever. We're not sure when Abreu's going to stop doing it. And Pasquantino is, he's young as can be, and we're hoping he's going to start doing it. It's interesting seeing those two players go together. And I'm fascinated to see how people react to them when they're both on the draft board together. But that's first base.
All right. Jury's out on that one.
Second base, jury will not be out on this one. I'm positive you'll agree with me. 1 second, my AirPods aren't working. I actually lost my AirPods. These are my sister's, so some technical difficulties. Whit Merrifield. No one's drafting Whit Merrifield, right?
Wait, he's in the Blue Jays, correct? Still,
that's a huge red flag that you didn't even know what team he was on. Yeah, he's on the Blue Jays.
I remember his little fiasco where he wouldn't. He didn't want to pick any. Yeah. It was a whole fiasco, but.
So
wow, that's I did not expect you to say that one.
Yeah, this is you're I don't think he's getting drafted, but there's good reason for that. OPS dipped to 670, 33 years old. His best skill is speed. This sounds like a recipe for disaster. Does he have a spot in this lineup? I mean, they have Espinal, who plays second, and he was an all-star. Um, I know he's a little unproven too. They have Biggio, who used to be a hot topic, and people used to really think he was capable of something. And then I mean, you plug him into the outfield, but I don't know if I love the spot he's in, and I don't really trust the skills anymore. He's been a name that people have trusted for a really long time, but I think that time has passed, and you do not want him on your team, not even on a bench spot, really.
Yeah, this one I'm really not going to argue with because I was a late adopter to Whit Merrifield as a fantasy player, and I went through this decline, and there's no power left in that tank, and every indicator kind of shows that he'll be a depth piece on the Blue Jays. I wouldn't touch him with a 5-foot pole in this draft.
Yeah, not much debate there. It's a really weird position though, so I kind of dug deep for that. A little deeper of a position. Shortstop.
This is the one that got me thinking for sure.
Okay.
O'Neal Cruz. I am not drafting him at what people are valuing him at. Raw as can be, great. I mean, we saw his like physical ability, sure, but we've seen incredible athletes not be able to make like certain adjustments and become a steady player. I am not taking him inside the top 10 because I don't think he's a top 10 shortstop at all. And I think his biggest issue right now is getting on base. His strikeout rate is sky high, his walk rate low. And Josh, I like OBP, big OBP guy. I like
You
when
and
they
Billy
get on
Bean.
base. Yeah, me and Billy Bean share that one, but I don't like O'Neal Cruz as a top 10 shortstop. I know this guy's the limit, but the floor is way too low for me. His floor is not a starter at all.
Yeah, he's he's a little similar to Javi Baez in a couple
Yeah,
ways,
very.
and we saw the low outcome probability play out this year with Javi Baez, and he was useless. He was terribly useless. He almost had an MVP a couple years ago. Because he has the talent, and talent will get you really far. Um, one of these years, someone's going to draft O'Neal Cruz, and there's a chance he's going to be a top 5 player. Um, I would probably put money on that, but I don't know if it's going to be this year. I think that his skills, his raw talent is there, but the skills aren't refined enough to show the consistency that you kind of want in a fantasy player. I'm sure he'll go through stretches, but he's going to have to deal with the league making adjustments to him. And I mean, that strikeout rate, it's going to be in the upper 30%. And, tools will only get you so far, as Javi Baez showed. I don't want him as a starter, but I mean, I'm going to be honest. If he's falling there, I might get sucked into that trap. I'm going to try not to, but man, it is tantalizing, isn't it?
It's tough because it's a shiny, pretty like thing. You're like, ooh, like this, like like there's like that. The optimist in you is like, this could end up really good. I mean, this kid could be like a special talent, but I got to see a little bit more of consistency because if he's hitting below 210, he's kind of unstartable.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see play out. But I think I'm with you tentatively as of now.
All right.
Third base. Another big name. DJ LeMahieu. Weird player. I think his best days are probably behind him, and I don't even really know where he's going to play. He doesn't have a starting spot. I don't think Donaldson's got third base. Glaber's got second. Rizzo's got first. I don't like not knowing where the at bats are going to come from. OPS dipped for 3 straight years. Hard hit rate, exit velo, expected BA all fell for the 3rd straight year. The profile is not helpful in power, steals, not even batting average anymore. He's he's just not going to help you anywhere. And if you're looking for a type of player like that, you're going to want someone with just higher upside. At the end of the day, Alec Boehm's probably someone who you might consider in that range. And Alec Boehm's 26 with untapped upside, untapped power. Why would you not just take him there? DJ LeMahieu has some name value, and that's probably going to hold his ADP afloat, but not interested at all, really.
Yeah, this is advice I would take for sure. Because if you don't have one of those top third basemen, there's a lot of really good ones. Don't go for a guy like the mid level like DJ LeMahieu, because it's not that solid this year, and you are better off with a young guy with potential here. Just the way the position's kind of set up.
Third base is wild because I was looking at our league and we have the keepers. We keep players.
Yeah. We all keep third baseman.
Everybody kept a third baseman. The best third baseman available right now is Alex Bregman, and that is it. Like, that is it for the top tier. Devers, Machado, Riley. Who else? Devers, Machado, Riley. There's Arenado. All kept. So if you're in that league and you're listening, you should probably focus on third base like ASAP.
Yeah, everyone wants to figure it out pretty quick. All right, that moves us to left field. Here's a fun name. Feels like yesterday we wanted this guy to be a Philadelphia Philly, but Chris Bryant. I see everyone being like, because I look at CBS Sports and all that, like some of their draft stuff. Everyone kind of saying like his value's never been lower as a player. He's still talented, but he got plantar fasciitis. And I think we all were alive for Pujols, and we watched what plantar fasciitis did to Albert Pujols as a power hitter, and it derailed his career. So I'm not that confident that Chris Bryant can go back to being the star he was in the Cubs.
Disagreement of the day. Give me Chris Bryant on all of my teams. I'm going to have Chris Bryant everywhere. And I know what you're saying has some validity to it. This is a former MVP whose value has never been lower and who's in Coors Field. If I can get Chris Bryant as like my third outfielder, I'd be thrilled. I know that it comes with considerable risk, but man, I'm drooling over the idea of this guy healthy for a full season in Coors Field. You watch Rockies all the time, just average players just pop off in Coors Field. And Chris Bryant, for all his issues, the guy knows how to hit. We know that.
That's true.
There's a possibility here that he returns to form and the 35 homers comes back and he finds some level of comfort in Coors Field that he hasn't had for the past couple of years. And I think I'm going to be all in on Chris Bryant at its current price tag, which I don't have it up, but I think it's into the hundreds. So that's going to be something I'm going to be looking into a lot.
I get it. Upside is enticing at a pretty shallow position. Left field does not have a ton of big takers, and if you're in a spot where he falls, I do get it, because it'd be nice to have like a top performer at left field, because basically no one in your league will. But I am not touching that injury-riddled man.
Speaking of injury-riddled players, center field, Byron Buxton is so good. He's so good, but the guy is not going to stay healthy. Just ingrain that in your head. He's not going to stay healthy. He's played more than 92 games just once in his career, and he's 28. His talent's going to push him up draft boards, but what's the point if you're going to get 300, 350 at bats? There's going to be players around him that are going to give you a full season's worth of production, and on a per game basis, it's probably not going to match his. But you have to look at replacement value in your league. Obviously, that's big, because if you can get a good player on the waiver who can replace Buxton, fine, take the risk. But if you're in a deeper league and there's nothing out there, you're going to want someone who can give you that production throughout the year, and he definitely can't. He has yet to prove that, and until he does, I'm probably out on him. And on top of that, I mean, the batting average was down to 224 last year, which I wasn't expecting, but I mean, it's probably hard to find some level of like rhythm and consistency on the playing field when, stuff keeps happening to you like that. It's baseball players are routine oriented, and if you're getting hurt every other week, it feels like it's probably hard to get comfortable in the batter's box. So I'm not touching Byron Buxton. I don't even care if he falls. Not the type of player that I look to draft really.
It's funny. I feel like these last two positions are gonna be flip flop, and I feel like a hypocrite but I'm scooping up Byron Buxton for sure. For sure, dude. That guy.
You don't want Chris Bryant, who had one half season, and you want Byron Buxton.
I do. I think Byron Buxton is still at a point in his career where it's way more enticing than Chris Bryant, to be honest. And I look at the nature of the injuries. Bryant had a back injury and then plantar fasciitis, and Buxton's just been pulling hamstrings like every freaking week. So you can fix your legs, but you can't fix your back and your ankles that easy. So I'm going to take a wild thing and say take Buxton, dude. That guy could be an MVP.
Are you a doctor? Are you giving medical advice now? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I'm a MD.
Look, if you want the power, which is probably the best part of his game now, if he's giving you a 224 average, Derek Hall might have more at bats than Byron Buxton.
Oh, shut up.
Just take him. Just pick him up off the waiver wire, and he'll give you the power and half a season's worth of production until Bryce Harper gets back. And you won't have to give up, a 6th-round draft pick?
I wouldn't take him in the 6th round. You got to hear me out here. What's his average draft rank?
I don't know. If you want to stall for a second, I can look it up. I know you're really good at stalling. Alrighty, so we are sorting by average draft position. Let me get an outfielder. He is kind of falling a little bit.
A young possible MVP candidate falling down the ranks, and you'd rather have Chris Bryant.
All right,
you'd rather scoop up Chris Bryant.
Take a guess.
Probably like 70 something.
There's no way this is right. He's going 183.
Sheesh, I'm taking him. Give me like 100.
Yeah, I guess I take all that back if he's going at 183. That's insane.
That is wild. I mean, that guy is so talented.
Andrew Vaughn is going ahead of him.
They're not even on the same planet. As far as
I know that's insane. I mean, if that's where he's going, then yeah, I take all that back. But I thought he was going to be like a top 100 pick, because I'm kind of used to that by now. But I guess not.
All right, right field. This one we shouldn't have to argue, and I hope you guys are avoiding this already. But Giancarlo Stanton, he's not Aaron Judge. He gets hurt more than Aaron Judge, and I believe I have a key number on him. Oh, he's on full pace to drop below a 750 OPS and have a down year with home runs. The way things have been trending, based off my personal projections, no one else's, I think he's going to have a down year, and I think it's permanent.
Man, this is not the most agreeing episode.
That's no fun.
So I hear you. He's getting worse by the year. Still hits the ball hard, which I like. Still in a really good lineup, which I like. And apparently he's going 204. His ADP is 204, which is just nothing. Honestly, you're talking.
I'm still not doing it.
10-teamer league. That's 21st round for an outfielder. We've been talking about how outfield's weak. I don't know. I think I consider him 16th best outfielder last year, and you can get him for just about nothing, really. So I don't know. I think I might be in on Stanton.
I hear you. His value's certainly low. You could definitely scoop him up in the very, very late rounds, but I think he sounds like a headache to have on your team. I think he's going to probably get hot in the beginning, then get hurt, and then struggle to get that back. I'd rather take a chance on a young guy that's coming up in that type of spot. But do what you want, people. We're not forcing you.
Yeah, he's such a boomer bust player that he can win you weeks and literally just give you nothing for a week. So
kind of like that Schwarber type vibe.
Yeah, if you're building a team, you probably don't want to mix him in with similar volatile players, but he will give you those points in short bursts like that.
Yeah,
starting pitcher,
and hopefully he's a bench outfielder, not a starter. That'd be ideal.
Starting pitcher, we're just killing it with this theme right now. I'm not going to touch Jacob deGrom, and I know it's not, it's not popular, but 28.1 average draft position, it seems reasonable. But he's already having issues, which is insane because it's February and nothing's even happened. He's been there like 4 days and he's already having issues. I think it was his back. The thing about him is if he stays what he's been doing and stays that level of velocity and is as dominant as he has been, I think he's going to get hurt because I don't think he can do that forever. I don't think he can do that throughout the game. There's just something that's not working for him in terms of staying healthy. And if he doesn't do that and he knocks it down a notch and he tries to stay healthy over the full season, he's not Jacob deGrom. He's taking a step back. And either way, you're not going to get the value out of, a top 5 pitcher off the board that you kind of want. You're either going to get half a year of super good Jacob deGrom or a full year of like 85-cent Jacob deGrom. And he's going around names. This is just my personal preference. I like the names. The pitchers that they might not be the best, but they're going to be reliable and they're going to be durable. Shane Bieber's in this range. Woodruff is in this range. Wheeler's in this range. I like all of them. Especially, Zach Wheeler, even if everything works out for both of them, in real life, the gap's big. I get that. Like Jacob deGrom's the best pitcher on the planet. But if they reach the kind of the upside that they're both capable of, Zach Wheeler and Jacob deGrom are not that far apart. And Jacob deGrom doesn't, stay healthy. Zach Wheeler can give you 200 innings. He's done it recently. Even when he was banged up, he gave you 150, 160 innings last year. Bieber's the same deal. And Woodruff and, even Dylan Cease, if you're looking for upside, you have the same type of upside in terms of strikeouts and bat missing ability. And, he'll give you the innings. So I just don't see a situation where I'm going to take that type of a player in that draft slot.
Yeah. You got no fight for me here. Jacob deGrom. We play fantasy baseball, and you try to get the most out of every player that on your team. Who can you squeeze points out of? What can you guarantee? And Jacob deGrom can't guarantee you 100 innings. I don't care how good a player is. If I am not confident the player can give me at least like a full half season, healthy, then I'm not touching him either.
Yeah, even if I didn't hear the report of him hurt already, I probably still wasn't drafting him. But now I see that, and it's just not. I don't want the headache. So,
ooh, all right, Dan Kern, don't bite my head off. But Edwin Diaz he can't get any better than last year. I believe his career ERA is a 2.93, and last year he was something absolutely ridiculous. I see his ERA going back to 3. I don't. His stuff is great, and his slider is nasty, and it gives everyone a lot of issues. But I think something with that playing the trumpets when they lost to the Padres, I think that kind of killed Edwin Diaz. This one probably is more of a biased value pick to you guys, but yeah. He's getting drafted real early in a lot of drafts. Go get yourself an extra bat or a starting pitcher. I'm not a big proponent of spending early draft picks on a closer.
Didn't you take Hader in like the 3rd round last year?
Yeah, it was a first.
And would not recommend?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it again this year because that guy sucked. Well, until he was fine before Veerling and Bohm got a hold of him.
Yeah, Veerling and Bohm, he got to him. Alrighty, that's fantasy bust. We'll try to monitor fantasy as we go on and as Johnny has his trials and tribulations. As for now,
Nice.
I don't think that's the right song.
Yeah, it still says relief pitcher.
That is so not the trivia time thing, but whatever.
Yeah, why does it still say relief pitcher?
Oh, I'm multitasking here. Okay, it's not easy
All right,
being the producer of the episode.
I know. I'm just the brains.
Trivia time. What do you got?
All right. Yeah, I think you're gonna have a fine time getting some of these. I've been being a little bit harsh on you with some of these questions, but in 2022, who led the Phillies offense in runs?
Schwartz.
Bingo, 100. Do you know?
Easy
It doesn't count, but do you know who was second? Just out of curiosity.
Probably Reese.
Yep. Yeah, money. All right. This one, kind of a cool one. Still 50-50 shot. You get 2 choices. Who pitched more innings in 2022? Zach Eflin or Bailey Falter?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like this question.
Give me Eflin.
Bailey Falter. Falter pitched 84 innings. Eflin 75. So it was pretty close.
Jeez. You think Bailey Falter tops that this year?
Yeah. So I see 100 innings out of him, one way or the other. No one can stay healthy, so he'll have his role.
That's another sleeper that we probably could have hit in the sleeper episode. Zach Eflin on the Rays, dude. They only signed him because they know something. Like, I'm sure they know something that they can unlock with him, and if he can stay healthy, I think he'll have a good season too.
Yeah, no, I would go towards him too. Ooh, and the final one. See if we can get 2 correct. Who had the highest home run per 9 out of the Phillies pitchers in 2022 with a minimum of 10 innings pitched?
Minimum of 10 innings. You see, that's the problem. That's
the kicker.
That's gonna cause some issues. I'm gonna go with. Wait, was this a 2-parter?
No.
All right. Well,
I mean, I have the top 2, I guess, but now just the number 1.
Give me James Norwood.
Oh, that was number 2.
Damn.
And it's really close. Norwood had a 12.5 home run per 9. Urias Familia had a 12.7.
Oh wow! I didn't think it would be Familia because of the sinker.
Well, he didn't always.
I guess
the sinker low.
The sinker wasn't sinking, so that's part of the problem. All right.
Yes.
Damn.
It was mostly. Dang. You were really close. I honestly thought.
Give me half point for that.
I'm not going to do that.
What was it? What was the score?
What's that?
What's the score for this inning?
It's the second inning.
Yeah. How many did I get last week?
You got 1 last week.
You got 1 last week.
I got 1 last week. Yeah, 1
so
out of 3.
I just got 1. So this inning's a wash.
It's a wash. Yeah, it's a tie inning. So
I think I deserve that Norwood question.
I gotta say, it was kind of a trick question because you have to pick between the 2 worst relievers we had on our team.
Why did you choose the 10 inning mark? Out of curiosity.
It just seemed like a natural.
All right.
Because there was guys like Tyler Sear, that guy loved that bomb.
Oh, true. Yeah. All right.
He pitched like 2 innings, but like he had like a 27 home run per 9. So I'm like, that's kind of ridiculous.
I wonder how James Norwood's doing now.
He's on the Yankees now.
He's on the Yankees now. I thought we got him from the
sure.
Yankees.
I think he went back.
Okay, well, good luck to the Yankees.
I mean,
and James
looked
Norwood,
that up.
I guess.
Yeah. Someone fact check us, but that could be very wrong.
Got anything else?
All right. No, that is our fantasy players to avoid. Avoid at all cost.
All right, back
Unless you have a hunch.
to the Phils now, right? We got reliever previews coming up next.
Yeah, we're gonna hit the bullpen. We're
And
gonna break it down a little bit. We'll have some over-unders on some key stats.
Cool. And this weekend, right? First games?
Yeah, I believe so. Like Saturday.
Man, that's gonna be nice.
I'm ready. I'm going down around St. Patty's Day, and I'm thrilled.
Jealous. I am jealous, but that's all you got. Thank you guys for listening. Like I always say, Sixers full swing right now. Go give Pick Swap Media a listen. And we'll be back to you guys soon with the relief pitcher breakdown. Talk to you guys in a bit.
Go Phils.